Good morning, everyone. I'm Ramesh T. Subramaniam from University Malaya. Today, my talk will be on Supercapacity, a solution for sustainable smart cities. From the name itself, we can see that supercapacity is a combination of supercapacitor and battery. In other words, this hybrid device is going to be the key savior as an energy storage device in such cities. As we know, the 2019 Nobel Prize in Chemistry was given for the development of lithium ion batteries. Supercapacity technology will bring the batteries to the next level. Recently, Capital Group has published an article on the world in 2030. Capital Group is an American financial services company. It ranks among the world's oldest and largest investment management organization with over 2 trillion in assets under management. There are 10 predictions for the next decade. Among the 10 predictions for the next decade, I'm going to discuss with you all about the three. The first one is autonomous vehicles will hit the fast lane. In 2030, we will have broadly deployed fleets of autonomous electric vehicles throughout the world. We are likely to see hybrid electric engines and hydrogen engines introduced into commercial aircraft with widespread deployment over the following 5 to 10 years. The next one is green machines will rule the road. Global electric vehicle sales are expected to rise 28% a year over the next decade. Rapidly declining battery cost and innovative developments will potentially make EVs cost competitive. And the next one is renewable energy will power the world. We are transitioning into an electrification of the grid and green energy. And there are strong tailwinds that could drive growth through 2030 and beyond. Some European governments have set high decarbonization targets, such as stipulating that a minimum of 32% of energy in the European Union should come from the renewable resources by 2030. Okay, here you can see two pictures. One is a township in Boston, and the other is a less sustainable city in Dubai. If I ask you where you would like to live, most would point to the picture on the right. Of course, why would anyone want to live in a polluted, crowded environment when you have the option to live in a sustainable, smart city? There is a balance in nature, recreation, clean energy, less pollution, and the list goes on. You can even Google to see more pictures on these cities. So, what are sustainable smart cities? Cities with parks, green spaces, solar powered buildings, rooftop gardens, good quality of life, space for nature, eco friendly public transit, eco friendly transport system, and the usage of solar energy as well as energy harvesting. Next, how are smart cities related to our work? As you'll be hearing later, our work focuses on the transport system, particularly on energy storage systems for electric hybrid vehicles. Smart cities focus on the three dimensions of environment, social, and economic. Our study targets the environmental and economic part of the dimensions. When the two dimensions are in harmony, the social dimension would automatically fall into place. Let me introduce more about the supercapacity. Supercapacity is a future energy storage solution. Supercapacity works on the combination of different charge storage mechanisms. It is a hybrid device with asymmetrical configuration where one side we will have a battery type electrode and the other side we will have a capacity type electrode separated by suitable electrolyte. Materials used for this prototype are cheap and abundant with low manufacturing cost. In addition, supercapacities can be constructed into two designs, rigid and flexible. Also, there are three drivers that promote the investment in energy storage: the increase in the electricity bills, the need for decarbonization, and the need to reduce dependency on fossil fuel. Graph clearly show that batteries have high energy density and low power density, whereas supercapacitors have high power density and low energy density. There is a huge gap between batteries and supercapacitors. In other words, we are taking the positives from two devices and combining it into our device, called as supercapacitor. Hence, supercapacitors can bridge the gap between batteries and supercapacitors. And we also know that Malaysia's carbon dioxide emission in 2020 increased 69% compared to year 2000. Statistics have shown that Malaysia's contribution towards the carbon footprint is increasing yearly. One of the major contributors to this increase is the transport industry. The Malaysian government has made a pledge to significantly reduce its carbon emission intensity levels by 45% of 2005's emission levels by 2030. How can we contribute to reduce carbon dioxide emission? As we know, most of the EVs are powered by lithium-ion battery technology, and current EVs take a longer time to fully charge. So, supercapacitor can be a solution for this problem by having shorter charging time. Supercapacitor can be used as energy storage device as well as energy harvesting device with the combination with solar cell. Next, let us look into National Automotive Policy 2020 and how it related to our work. One of the aims of the National Automotive Policy was to formulate an energy policy to support its electric vehicle measures. The government aims to ensure our source of energy is as green as the product itself, which is why electric vehicle and green energy will be positioned as enablers to further sustain the economy. The National Automotive Policy outlines a list of technology development projects, and under the engineering aspects, development of electrode and electrolyte for lithium-ion battery. I repeat again, the development of electrode and electrolyte for lithium-ion battery and next generation battery technology is focused. In addition, development of critical components and systems such as lightweight material technology and fuel cell is also mentioned. One of the thrust of NAP 2020 is to produce energy efficient vehicles and reduce carbon emission to 5.3 liters gasoline equivalent per 100 kilometer by 2025. So why is the supercapacitor important and how is this device related to the policy? This is because supercapacitor can be considered as the next generation battery technology. In general, supercapacitor would fill in these criteria as it is a superior battery and supercapacitor technology fulfilling the green component and lightweight characteristics. Its direct link to the policy would be in three aspects. Number one, it supports the electrification of vehicles in Malaysia towards synergistic benefit on energy security, environment, and climate change. Second, we also can produce supercapacitor that would have a longer lifetime and longer drive distance. In addition, to produce novel electrode and electrolyte to fabricate supercapacitor which impact the automotive industry. And let us look into some of the problems in electrochemical devices. The main components of the device are electrolytes and electrodes. For electrolyte, liquid electrolytes are harmful and prone to leaking, whereas solid polymer electrolytes show low ionic conductivity and narrow operating voltage. In addition, the usage of synthetic polymers is non-biodegradable and flammable. For electrode, we can see electrodes with binder increases the resistivity and the addition of dead weight. For devices, supercapacitors are unable to store high amount of energy, whereas lithium-ion batteries take long time to be fully charged, as I've already explained earlier. Next, I will share a bit on evolution of polymer electrolytes. So these parts, we're going to concentrate on electrolytes. Polymers are basically plastics, which are non-conductors. We incorporate additives to make it become conductors. In other words, polymer electrolytes. First generation polymer electrolytes, also known as salt-based polymer electrolytes, even though the conductivity is enhanced, but it is not sufficient to be applied in high-performing devices. To overcome this, we introduce second generation polymer electrolyte, the plasticized salt-based polymer electrolyte, which can further increase the ionic conductivity, but the mechanical property deteriorates. The third generation polymer electrolytes are nanocomposite polymer electrolyte, which increases the ionic conductivity, improves the mechanical property, and the aging effect of the system. In progressive years, there are many other methods like irradiation, polymer electrolyte-based ion liquid, and carbon nanotubes were explored. Let me talk about ion liquids here. Ion liquids are one of the commonly used additives to enhance the performance of the electrolyte, which in turn improves the device performance. Incorporation of ion liquids as additives is one of the widely used methods to increase the ionic conductivity. Room temperature ion liquids are also known as green solvent, which can avoid the usage of conventional organic solvent to dissolve the host polymers, in many cases polymers. Why hydrogel are used as electrolyte? How do the hydrogels as electrolyte benefit consumers? Hydrogel electrolytes are semi-solid, having properties of both liquid and solid. Hydrogels consist of many interesting properties. Like, here I'm going to share two things. The first one is thermally stable. This means safety. If a device becomes too hot, it automatically would shut off. Imagine your handphone becoming too hot, due to which would put you at risk. So this energy storage device has something like a fuse, which would shut off for your safety. The next interesting property is the self-healing property of the hydrogels. A damaged cell can recover its functionality with the presence of hydrogel as electrolyte. Just like our cells, when we have an injury, our body can heal itself. This is something like that. How about the mechanical property of the hydrogel, which becomes very important when the product is out in market from the laboratory? Pure hydrogel show good mechanical strength even after stretching, twisting, bending, and knotting doesn't show any visible damage to the hydrogel. We synthesize this hydrogel of acrylic acid through free radical mechanisms. How about the electrodes and approaches to produce high-performing electrodes? Let us now focus on the electrode materials. Our electrodes are architectured. It is built to fulfill the criteria such as electrical conductivity and porosity. This is important to allow movement of ions from one side to another. Next, nano size. We need extremely small particle size to produce a good electrode material. Doping and composite mean the material that we add to ensure the electrode material portrays characteristics good enough to be used in device. Next, I'm also share with you all the synthesis of ternary nanocomposites as an electrode material. By itself, the one material may not express optimum characteristics. So here we combine three compounds, which gives the best characteristic material to be used as electrode. In this case, we use a combination of nickel phosphate, silver phosphate, and polyaniline. Results clearly show that ternary composite-based devices show better performance compared to binary nanocomposite and nickel phosphate based devices. As mentioned earlier, an energy storage device comprises two main components, the electrode and electrolyte. To achieve a high-performing energy storage device, selection of materials is very important. Hence, for our supercapacitor, we use a novel electrode material known as magazine. Magazine are flexible 2D layered porous hydrophilic material with highly electronegative terminated groups as electrode material. And also, how is our work related to MySTIE? The 1010 MySTIE is a framework to support the Malaysian science and technology policy. It is an integration of 10 key Malaysian socioeconomic drivers with key science and technology drivers with the aim to generate shared economic prosperity for Malaysians eventually. And the most important thing is, under the energy socioeconomic driver, renewable energy and energy storage system has been recognized as a niche area for development. Our device is for energy storage purpose. Innovate here, make here, and deploy everywhere. Over the past half decade, the nation has witnessed a rapid transformation of the automotive industry as mobility technologies and Industry 4.0 becomes imperative to global competitiveness. The new era of automotive technologies must be adapted into the industry to ensure business sustainability and future competitiveness. That is why we say the innovation is by Malaysian, the innovation is manufactured in Malaysia, but the product will become globally available. All-in-one configuration. The supercapacitor is also an all-in-one configuration with all the necessary components in one piece, which ensure the device is small, flexible, and light in weight. Here is a methodology to show how all-in-one configuration of electrode and electrolyte can be formulated. The as-prepared hydrogel were so flexible that they were capable of withstanding different deformation. For example, we tried folding them and made cylindrical shape out of these hydrogels, which was successful. Here, we are also proposing a new type of hybrid device which combines supercapacitor and DSSC, where we can use this device as energy storage as well as energy harvesting. This flexible and portable integrated energy harvesting and energy storage device can be used for self-powered electronics and electric hybrid vehicles. I've been saying a lot for some time now, but at the end, if I want you all to remember something from this talk, it would be this. We all want the environment to be sustainable for future generations, and we are definitely working towards that. This device is our contribution for a greener environment. We all know that EV may be more expensive, but that is also because its components are expensive. Our research is changing that in addition to sustainability, the cost would also be lower. And with that, we hope that one day our supercapacitor can be used in EV towards smart sustainable cities for a greener one. I take my leave with the saying, progress is impossible without change, and those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. Changes call for innovation, and innovation leads to progress. With that, I'd like to thank my family, teachers, students, University of Malaya, Academy of Sciences Malaysia for the opportunity, and not forgetting taxpayers who support our research. With that, thank you.